Next on Worcester News tonight, Labor Day marks the unofficial last day of summer, and many in central Massachusetts are out there enjoying it. Plus, we're feeling the effects of Hurricane Harvey here in central Massachusetts as gas prices continue to rise. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Worcester's planning an event on Friday to collect donations for people affected by Hurricane Harvey. Meanwhile, today, 3 trucks filled with supplies from Boston arrived in Houston. And tonight, we're learning more about the devastation the hurricane is leaving behind. According to the Associated Press, officials now blame at least 60 deaths on Harvey, adding floodwaters have caused delays in response to medical emergencies. President Trump has asked Congress for a $7.9 billion down payment towards Harvey relief and recovery efforts. Well, closer to home, gas prices keep going up as a result of Harvey's impact. According to AAA, the national gas price average has hit the highest pump price of the year at $2.63, while the average here in Massachusetts is $2.70, which is up 3 cents since just yesterday. Drivers we spoke with are not happy about how quickly the prices are rising.
It's been hard. I do a lot of driving for work, so for me it's been like kind of an extra expense that we all can't afford at the moment.
It's not even winter yet and it's already 60 cents more. I don't know, I think it's just ridiculous. It's just too much money out of my pocket.
AAA says as of Wednesday evening, the Department of Energy reports 10 Gulf Coast refineries remain shut down. 6 refineries have begun the process of assessing damage and restarting, which may take several days. Well, many across central Massachusetts took advantage of Monday's nice weather to celebrate Labor Day. The holiday marks an unofficial end to summer, and it brings on mixed feelings for people in the area. Our Cam Jandro joins us now with more. Cam?
Anna, as we approach the end of Labor Day 2017, we do the same thing with summer. Today, central Massachusetts residents were out enjoying the weather before the cold makes its way into the city.
Temperatures reached the upper 70s on what was a sunny and warm afternoon for the unofficial end to summer. Beachgoers at Worcester's Regatta Point were happy with how Monday turned out.
I'm actually really excited that it was 79 degrees today and actually be able to enjoy today before, colder winter starts.
There was grilling and swimming on what could be the last chance for the season, but some say they're ready for the winter to make its way back into Worcester.
No, I like the winter.
I'm ready. I'm ready to sleep in.
Longer pants, the sweaters. I actually enjoy getting dressed up and getting bundled up.
Miola's Wayside Ice Cream in West Boylston was busy as hungry residents look to take their last few bites of summer. Autumn flavors featuring apples and pumpkins have now worked their way onto the menu. For owner Mark Miola, it's a sad indicator for what time of year it is.
Unfortunately, it is a sad thing when we do bring out pumpkin and apple crisp because we miss all our customers over the winter. And who likes winter around here unless you ski or like to shovel?
And with the cold on its way, Miola says they'll continue to sell ice cream for as long as Mother Nature will allow.
Sometimes it's October, sometimes we get to the end of October, but we do our best to always keep the customers happy here.
Now, here in Worcester, the nights continue to get colder as we are now in the first couple days of September, but the official first day of autumn doesn't hit us until the 22nd of this month. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Well, firefighters battling flames at a 3-decker in Worcester. The 2-alarm fire broke out around 4:30 Monday afternoon. Firefighters were on scene for over an hour battling the flames. The fire department says residents were home at the time, but they made it out safely. No firefighters were injured. Deputy Chief John Sullivan says the location of the fire made it challenging to extinguish.
Yeah, the wind is always a factor up here on the hill. Worcester's the city of 7 hills, so it's, this is a pretty good exposure right up here on Belmont Hill for the wind coming from the west to the east, which is the prevailing wind. So, yeah, anytime we get a fire up on the hill here and an exposed 3-decker, wind is always a factor.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Well, dozens of local labor leaders and politicians gathered at the annual Labor Day breakfast Monday. The AFL-CIO breakfast featured speakers like Congressman James McGovern and U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren. They both shared a similar message of fighting for what you want in regards to jobs and wages. The breakfast also kicks off the Labor and United Way of Central Massachusetts Partnership for a Better Community fundraising campaign.
This year we have a goal of $5,750,000 that we collect from more than 11,000 people, businesses, organizations, the AFL-CIO and all of the unions. And then we invest that into our community, into things like emergency and protective services, into food and reducing food insecurity, into after-school programs and youth development and educational support programs.
The United Way says their goal is to work together to help people in need. Marlborough's 66th annual Labor Day Parade took place Monday. The 2-hour parade featured dozens of performances, floats, and organizations. Our Brittany Schaefer was there today and has the story.
Thousands line the streets of Marlborough to watch the 66th annual Labor Day Parade. And for many like Gladys Washington, it's a tradition she can't miss.
I live in Marlborough like for the last 20-something years, so every year, this is where we are. We enjoy it.
I've been here, I think, 3 times, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
We've been to this parade probably for the last 3 or 4 years.
The 1.7-mile parade featured several bands, floats, politicians, and military personnel, and everyone had a favorite.
I liked the martial arts part. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool.
I do like the bagpipes.
You're gonna eat candy? Yeah.
My son is actually walking in the parade for New England martial arts.
Ronald Anderson has been to the parade before and says this year is bigger and better.
Great this year, see a lot of different organizations from afar. It's a good culture event that people can come out and watch and enjoy and experience the different things that is important about the world, not just the United States, but the world.
Viewers of New England's largest Labor Day parade say it's the perfect event for all ages.
It's fun and they get to see all the cars. He loves fire trucks and he loves police cars.
All of our neighbors are here, so this is a great event for him to kind of get out and hang out with other kids and family and friends.
It's a beautiful day. It's great. It's great to have some time with my sons and just enjoy the day.
Now the parade is completely funded through commercial and private donations. The city says the success of the parade wouldn't be possible without the support of the community. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Old Sturbridge Village celebrating Labor Day with a unique demonstration highlighting military training in the 19th century. Our Catherine Andrioli has more on this unique exhibit.
The sounds and the sights of military training in the 19th century are brought to life at Old Sturbridge Village Labor Day weekend.
We've just been target shooting here, doing drill, cannon demonstrations, so the typical sights and scenes you would have seen on a typical muster day in the time period.
Militia Weekend celebrates the role of citizen soldiers in early New England, reenacting training days which include marching, drilling, and learning how to shoot.
In the 1830s, every man from 18 to 35 in Massachusetts is actively serving in the militia, which means they need to turn up 2 times a year and actually train.
Demonstrators here at Old Sturbridge Village shot at these wooden targets you can see behind me to recreate the militia experience of the 1800s. Today, I had a chance to shoot this bullet to experience what target practice would be like more than 100 years ago. The experience, as one historic trade coordinator, Derek Heidman, says, is about authentic as it gets, even down to the costumes. He tells us he made his himself.
I was able to get in there and take measurements off it, actually pattern the coat, and look at the construction techniques. So when I went through and made this coat and the rest of the uniform, it was not only comparing the original one, but looking at the documentation for the time period.
Old Sturbridge Village Director of Marketing Michael Arnhem says these demonstrations allow visitors to step back in time and experience what life was like many years ago.
And you get to see them demonstrate these techniques and these crafts that would be forgotten otherwise.
These big picnics and really just a holiday atmosphere on these training days. So trying to recreate that here in the museum and having a really authentic experience recreated for the public when they come in is a really neat experience to be part of.
In Sturbridge, Catherine Andrioli, Worcester News Tonight.
The president is expected to end the Deferred Action for Child Arrivals program, aka DACA. There are more than 780,000 young undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. by their parents, and DACA protects these so-called dreamers from being deported while they work or go to school. Those familiar with the plan say the announcement will come with a 6-month delay to give Congress time to figure out the details. Meanwhile, Congressman James McGovern says he does not agree with the president on deporting young immigrants. He even calls it inhumane.
What a lousy thing to do to people who were brought here by their families, some as infants, who are now, working in our factories, who are, serving in our armed forces. Many of them right now are helping in the relief effort with regard to the hurricane in Houston, Texas. And Donald Trump wants to pull the rug from right underneath them and say, you're not welcome here? How dare he do that? What an awful thing to do.
McGovern says if the president does deport them, he hopes to get a bill passed through Congress to reverse